people don't realize that peace is the most important part. It's the most important thing that you can ever get. It doesn't matter where you are. You can be living in under the bridge, but if you've got peace within yourself, you think better, you function better, you are able to look for the next the next thing that you can do to better yourself. But it's just that, and when you look at, I'm saying this because when you look at in our past, let's say probably our forefathers, how did they live in Africa? The way they live by then, they lived by then, you will be thinking that they were poor because they didn't have cars, they didn't have this material stuff, they didn't have big houses. But it was then when you realize with those resources that we've got today in this day and time, that those are the things that are giving us stress. Those are the things that depress us. Those are the things that sometimes you can have all these mansion houses, you can have all the money in the world, you can have all this world, but you're not happy. You are lonely. You are empty inside. And for me, the definition of being successful and have a wealth, it's through the mind. It's through peace. It's through happiness within. And it's through knowing who you are, where you come from, and where you're going.
All right. And that is another powerful part again, the mind. As someone was saying that the mind is a terrible thing to lose.
Yes. Yes, I agree.
Because that is where the war actually is taking place. That is where we can map out our peace, our strategy, everything takes place in the mind.
Yes.
What you see outside is only a manifestation of it.
The manifestation of a mind, it's when you gain your consciousness. And obviously through that consciousness, it's when you see the right and the wrong perfectly. And I've got a quote that probably I can just check on my book.
Yeah, go ahead, I do that.
Page 15. It's on page 15. And it says the only gift to your child is to let them open mindset. Trust me, they will go far. So with that aspect, that's the best gift that you can give to your kids, to your children, the future generation as a whole, for them to open to open their mindset. Opening mindset doesn't necessarily mean that you can gullible everything that the world give to you, but it's about them knowing who they are, knowing where they stand, and knowing where they come from and where they are going. Because if you don't know where you come from, it's very difficult for you to know where you're going and why you're here, where you are. So it feels like you are just floating without you stemming yourself to the ground. So we're bringing back that gravity. We're bringing it back to our future generation through the books, through telling stories of where we've been before, and where our ancestors or our forefathers have been before, and what do we think that it will keep us going forward. So that's the gift that you can give to your child, to be proud of who they are, to be proud of their identity, how are they being identified. And yeah, I think that's that's how I manifest all those quotations. I manifest them and hoping that they will go from generation to generation, even if I'm not here, but they will stay with their future.
Now, I want you to speak a bit about the title again, because that title is really very interesting. Where to some person it might be provoking, but why I think we need to face it more. When in your explanation you said that plagiarism will of course mean somebody taking something that belongs to another person without the proper attribution, which is of course that is actually how it is defined. I wanted to put it in context. What is being taken here and who is taking it? If you were to go to a law court and you bring out evidence of what has happened, there is always the accused and the accuser. There is always the person who something is taken from, or somebody who is taking something. So I wanted to clarify that part for me.
Right. Just for starters, if you have to take me to court, you have to make sure that you bring God in that courtroom, because obviously he is the one who's going to be a victim. Nobody whatsoever. Nobody else except him. So this is just between me and him or her, the way we call him. So it's between me and God. And what I was trying to say, these are the things that he wanted us to know, or she wanted us to know. And these are the things that, like I said, that I was just the vessel of downloading this information. And as you can see on my book, it's more of God was saying, you are also with it. You're also human. You are also brilliant, and that you also need to love yourself. And that's my message. We need to love ourselves so deep that we can be able to respect one another, to respect another person, to have empathy for another person, to have that ubuntu, that love for another person. And basically, he just reminded us the concept of ubuntu, the concept of humanity. And as much as it has spread, it says, once you understand that fundamental, then you understand you understand me as God, you understand what kind of person you should be. You understand that you will be able to feel the confident to yourself, you will be able to channel yourself, and the manner that you'll be channeling yourself in the positive way, that now you know that, okay, I'm Fundi, I'm from South Africa, I'm a Zulu speaking person. What my forefathers used to do, and I'm taking it on board. I'm happy about it. I'm happy about my hair. I love my skin. I love who I am. I love my language. I'm unique, and I'm not afraid to be Black. I'm not afraid to be an African. I'm not afraid to be a South African. I'm not afraid to be a Zulu person. And it's mainly about that it will be God who's going to be in that courtroom. And that's the evidence enough to say, it's not you, Obehi, it's not you, whoever, but it's through God. So you will have to bring God to that courtroom.
All right, that is important. Sorry, I'm just dragging you a little bit there, but I need a clarification. It is important for me because we can take the argument deeper than that. Because also you did make mention of Africa, looking at African spirituality, and because when we talk about things like this, we do need to give some clarification so that people know where we stand. No, perhaps you are using the Bible as interpretation, then you are using African as interpretation, using African spirituality. So that is why I think maybe those things might need to be clarified. Then we also talk about identity. You made mention of, no, and you talk of also ancestors, talk of our forefather. So that is why I think maybe those clarifications, if they are made, it will become very important for us.